Hello everyone, welcome back to Lab4crypto. We are in mid-September and everyone is waiting for September to end so we can get some action in the crypto market because many people think that the top of the crypto market will be in Q4 of 2025 based on historical data and something that it's going to be extended at least in the first half of 2026. So I wanted to make this video and be to the point, give you exactly my outlook, how I am preparing myself, and what I think for people that maybe care about what I think. And let's dive in immediately because I think in the end, this September is going to be the most important one for people that they want to enter the crypto market, to know where we are in the cycle, why it is important for you to start having a plan, and also for people that they are here for the entire cycle to start thinking how they can rotate some capital to more riskier assets than BTC and ETH or Solana and so ever. And I will try to touch on everything, but I want to give you, let's say, the most important parameters that you can check to understand where we are in the macro cycle, if we have a possibility of recession, if the rate cuts are going to give us a boost, and so on. But first, let's have a look on the on some stats. Let's go to the platform, for example. Yeah, we're in. So you can see the interest of people in the crypto market now is very low. We see the Bitcoin, Gold Trends interest, and Ethereum. It's almost at yearly low. If we click, you'll see that we were at 19% on, let's see, when Bitcoin was 64K, not 117 what it is now. And that is good news for me, especially as we go into Q4. And of course, the price of Bitcoin. So we're seeing the close price was 117. Bitcoin is above its FOMO level, which is good. It's above its bull market support band, which is the 20-week SMA and 21-week EMA. And also, we are well above the lower Bollinger Band. We are going to move to the risk as well in a bit. So for people to visualize, this is the bull market support band. So these two lines, and you can see that depending on the data that you are using, because now we are using some data from TradingView from Bitstamp, and the close price varies a bit. So that's why you see a small deviation. In the platform, we are using data from Coinmetrics. So that is nothing for you to worry about. The point is that we are well above it. And for me, if we close September above the bull market support band, I think we're going to have a massive upside in Q4 of 2025 for BTC and the crypto market in general. Because one, Bitcoin risk is at low levels, which that for me, it's really good news. Because do not forget that cycle tops occur when there is frenzy, when there is excessive leverage, when there is reckless borrowing. And we are nowhere near this level. The Fed are doing their job. They want to be sure that they have maximum employment and they are keeping interest rates at high levels compared to other countries and other regions. For example, Europe, which is at 2.5, let's say, compared to the US, which is now at 4.20. Let's say Cyprus, which is Europe, which is the same. Yeah, we're 2.15%, which is really good compared to the US, which yesterday they dropped it another 0.25%, which means that since the beginning of the year, we had the first rate cut yesterday. moving on, the interesting part is that actually the market believes that we're gonna have one more rate cut in October for now, which is good news in my opinion, and also one more in December. So we're gonna have two more rate cuts. Now we need to think, this is happening because the Fed afraid that we're gonna have a recession, we are going to starting to see unemployment rate going up, we're going to start to see layoffs, or because the economy is strong and now we reach a point which inflation is tamed and therefore we're gonna start boosting the economy. And this is a part of the business cycle in general as well. So if we go and see the this is the layoffs in the US, and what you can see actually, we are below levels even before the pandemic, which we had this spike, which we had a recession in 2020-21. And that what is telling me is that the economy is strong. Therefore, when the Fed are going to start reducing interest rates, we're going to have a pool of capital which was sitting in, let's say, risk-free trades for them, which they was giving high interest rate to just, for example, have your money in treasury bills or whatever, starting to move to risky assets because as the interest rates are dropping, they want to put their money to work and they're going to find different places to put that capital. Note as well that historically, every time with 100%, let's say, probability until now, when Fed starting to reduce rate cuts, we are in the next 12 months, we have an increase in price of assets. It's something that I share as well on my on Telegram. But the main point is that when S&P 500 is so close to its all-time high and actually surpass it when the Fed are reducing interest rates, the next 12 months are going to be good. And that is why that a lot of people as well do not think that the end of the of this cycle is going to be in Q4 of 2025, but it's going to be extended in 2026. And this is what I believe as well. I think that we're going to start to see a rotation from alts to BTC in October. We want Bitcoin to start establishing the floor, going to higher values, to start bringing confidence to the market. And then we're going to see altcoins to start taking over. And there is where I'm planning to also rotate a lot of my capital from BTC and layer ones to some more risky place. And that is better for you to do it when you are in profit as well. This is why we are writing the, let's say, the Bitcoin train for more than 2 years. And if you go and check our Twitter or in Telegram, you will never see me say that Alcoin season has started. Because when I'm going to do it, I think I'm going to have a substantial, let's say, evidence that this is going to happen from data perspective. And of course, always you're going to see my rotation on Telegram and my moves. The other question that I was getting a lot is that if I believe Bitcoin will go below 100K in September. And this is a post, for example, that I made on September 8th, that personally I said that no matter what, BTC will not go below 100K. Of course, irrespective of that, we're following the data. This is my opinion. And when Bitcoin went at 108K, we accumulated a lot. As always, you can see what I'm doing if that helps you on Telegram. Of course, it's not financial advice. This is what I'm doing. And I'm also showing you my thought process, because you should trust no one with your own heart, money, let's say, and portfolio. So what I'm doing is I'm following the data that I see on our platform, which we have thousands of data and thousands of graphs. And I am explaining why I'm making the moves. And if you want, you can follow. The nice thing now that I see now is that also Ethereum risk is starting to drop, which it was at high levels after the recent price increase. You will see that when we were at 4.8 K, the risk was at 60, almost 62%. We are now starting to cool off, which that is good. I expect to see some more capital rotating from ETH to Bitcoin in October to give that confidence to the market and that push to Bitcoin. And also, the good thing, we're starting to see the short-term bubble risk for Ethereum to start dropping. If we see that as well, we have reached the, let's say, the high risk zone on August 13th when when Ethereum price was 4.8, and now we're starting to cool off, which is good news as well. And if we go and check something which I think is crucial to understand, is that usually Bitcoin gets its summer low and in post-halving years, and then in Q4 is starting to go up. So we got the low in August 2025, and now we're expecting to starting to see BTC to move to higher values. If we go to 2021, let's say, let's go back the previous cycle, which was the post-halving year, we get the low in July, then we had some upside until September, and then we get a low at the end of September. So we see the bottom was in 20th of September 2021, and then we see the rally up until November. Now, if we go to 2017, do we see the same thing? Let's have a look. 2017, again, we had a low in September 17th here, and then we're starting to see Bitcoin to move higher until December. So now the question is, it was the low in August for Bitcoin when we touched the bull market support band at 100 and let's say 7.23, what was the value? Or we're gonna have one more at the end of September. And to be honest, for me, I don't care at all. What I care is to take advantage of what happens in the short term. I have my plan for the long term, but I take advantage of what is happening on the short term. For example, that is why I accumulated on the bull market support band, although I didn't know if it's going to go lower. But for me, when it was at the bull market support band, when the risk was low, which our risk metric until now is basically doing an amazing job, and this is what is guiding me for the past 5 years in the crypto market. And if you go and check, when Bitcoin was at 108, the risk was only 38%, so it was within my risk tolerance, and I was like, that's perfect. And the good thing, as I said, you can see the receipts on our Telegram, which basically you can see exactly what I'm doing. Anyhow, the point is that for me, when we have the layoffs at these low levels, we are going to see at least 2 or 3 more rate cuts this year. Then I expect asset prices to go up substantially, especially when we are starting to see money flow from, let's say, more risk free places to more risky ones, because we're going to start seeing interest rates going down. Therefore, if you want to get into the crypto market, it's crucial for you to start preparing, start finding as well which altcoins are going to perform better, let's say in a risk environment. And for me, I think the DeFi sector has the most potential, because we are heavily undervalued now. For example, we are 56% undervalued. That is why I think projects like INA, like Aave, like World Liberty Financial, like Hyperliquid, Aster, there are so many that it's good for you to keep an eye on. And when the time comes, start to rotate. I know that a lot of people are like hyper fixate to get the absolute bottom, rotate at the best time. But for me, it's no point to take an extra risk. I'm willing to lose, let's say, in one X position on an altcoin when it has 5 or 6 more, and be more confident about my move, instead of trying to pick the absolute bottom. And what we saw until now, on every altcoin season, let's say push, it was a fake out, right? So for example, if you had moved a lot of your capital in December of 2024, your portfolio was damaged a lot. Um, 3 or 4 months later, because we're starting, there was a peak, and then it was dropping, and then of course people are panic selling. Usually they are moving capital to different projects, and then even the project, if that project's recovered, they have already lost their capital. And also do not forget that this altcoin season peak that we see for the last, let's say, 6 days, 7 days, is actually driven from Solana and Ethereum, which have the highest market cap, because we are starting to see a lot of treasury companies accumulate. So when you have the projects with the higher market cap increasing price, they can push the altcoin season index to above 75, which, for people that they don't know what it is, basically we're comparing the returns of the top 50 coins in the last 90 days compared to Bitcoin. So when you have Ethereum and Solana, which are the biggest, let's say, after Bitcoin, have a price increase, they can give you the illusion that we have the altcoin season started. And for many people, altcoin season is like when you're starting to see all altcoins running. And I think the time is not there. And actually, I will argue that maybe we're going to start to see a dip in the next 2 weeks, and then start to see Bitcoin taking over, and then have altcoins kick in. Of course, we're just watching the data, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to start rotating capital from BTC to altcoins earlier than what I think, when I think the time will be. Now I'm like 79-21, let's say, the ratio between BTC and mostly layer ones. But anyhow, you'll always see my moves in Telegram. The point is that I'm not rotating yet, but I am preparing my moves. And it's crucial for you to get fixed on the next 6 months, because I think asset prices in general are going to go higher. So it's better for you to be prepared, learn as much as you can. And if you enjoy also the knowledge that we give in this channel and in our platform, please give us a thumbs up and leave a comment, as that helps us a lot. And hopefully I make you understand my thought process around it. For me, when I still see basically whales keep accumulating, this is this purple line, you'll see that it's continue. Let's put a light mode so maybe you'll see it better. This is what I see. And for me, I like it. When I see BTC risk this low, I'm happy. The fear and greed index is at neutral levels. The short-term bubble risk is at neutral levels. And we have the Bitcoin Google interest again at low levels. To be honest, there is no better combo for us to go into in Q4 of 2025. But of course, we have 11 days left, let's say. So hopefully Bitcoin will stay above the levels that I said. And for me, the level that I will start getting concerned about this cycle is if Bitcoin loses 100K, because first is psychological level, it's also close to the FOMO level. It will be below the bull market support band, also below the lower Bollinger Band. Therefore, then I'm going to start, and also the 50-week moving average is at almost 100. So therefore, this is the only level that I will get concerned. If we get an opportunity and get a lower, probably I'm going to accumulate, especially if the risk metric is telling me that it's fine, because it's a really sophisticated algorithm, which it took me 8 months to develop. And until now, it's serving me very, very well. And if we get a dip, I will definitely accumulate. And as I said many times, the equation that I created for the total crypto market cap power law is telling me that the top of this cycle probably is going to be at more than 10 trillion. So I expect the total crypto market to reach 10 trillion plus. And this is an equation that I made 1 year ago, I think, which I found out that we are following a power law equation, which is really nice. And also, I believe that BTC is going to reach values above 180K this cycle. Therefore, I'm positioning myself to be able to take the maximum of BTC and then rotate to altcoins, and of course exit the market when I feel that we have entered a bubble. As always, what I'm saying here is not financial advice. This is what I believe. And I hope I gave you some value today. Please give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. And until next time, bye-bye.